a quick video on how we prepare the water before we mash in.
So good morning. The night before we will fill this tank with just short of 300 litres of water, and we'll add the water treatment tablets or any water treatment chemicals that are necessary. A lovely little timer. We'll turn that on at about 3 o'clock in the morning. So by 8:30, 9, this tank will be as near to boiling as makes no difference. Yeah. The first thing we do is we weigh out the grain, yeah, and measure the temperature of the grain with the approved thermometer. At that point, we'll transfer 130 litres of water into the mash tun. The total mash volume of water required will be about 140. Once that's in, we measure the temperature of the water and see what it has lost going across. So we'll have a starting temperature for the water in there. We'll have a temperature of the grain, and using an app which will calculate the heat loss by adding cold grain to hot water. And you give it a target temperature at the end, and it fairly accurately tells you what temperature this needs to start at to get down to the 66.7 degrees, which is our ideal mashing temperature. So if this is too hot, we add cold water. If it is too cold, we add hot water. So we end up with the 140 litres at the ideal temperature. The rest of the water stays in there for the time being, and we get the mash on. Yeah, so we add the grain to the mash tun, double check the temperature at the end, which is incredibly accurate with the online calculator. Then the rest of the water, yeah, we can remove the heat. The rest of the water is pumped up to this tank, yeah, and then we see the temperature that this gets to. And this ideally wants to be about 78 degrees. If it is slightly low, we can put the heat strap on. If it's slightly high, we can leave it to cool down because it's got an hour. So we just keep an eye on that over the hour of the mash, turn the heater on, turn it up, turn it down as necessary, and ideally we have then the sparge water at about 78. It's not that critical, to be honest. You can sparge a little lower, sparge a little higher if you have to. Yeah. And that way you end up with about 320 litres across the two vessels, which is the ideal total water required for a 250 litre brew.